Hi, everyone. Welcome to the North Central Education Abroad Virtual Fair Week. I apologize for our slight start delay as we've had a little bit technical difficulties, but hopefully this will work on your end. And I just want to start by introducing myself. My name is Rachel Berkeley, and I am the Graduate Assistant for Education Abroad here at North Central. Just a few quick notes to, just so that for your information. All participants except for the presenters and myself are muted. So if you do have a question, feel free to use the chat feature on your webinar, so on the side, and you can write your questions to Neil, our partner from University of Birmingham. There's Neil Driscoll and Wei Loon Chen, and they will be here to kind of give an overview of the program, show some videos that hopefully will work, and answer any questions that you might have about studying abroad at the University of Birmingham. So I have a quick note here. So in the chat box, I will post my Education Abroad advising link. So when you're ready, after visiting this webinar, as well as hopefully some of our other webinars from our partners abroad, please go ahead and make an Education Abroad advising appointment with me. And I'll post my link again in the chat box so you can access it right there. And we can talk about your education abroad opportunities and kind of the next steps for you. And just if you are thinking ahead, just kind of down the pipeline, our fall 2021 education abroad applications will be due to North Central. So for our office, those will be due on November 10th, coming up here in about a month and a half or so. So I will let Neil and Wei Loon take the floor.
Hi everyone, welcome to the University of Birmingham Q&A session. My name is Neil Driscoll and I'm the Study Abroad and Exchanges Coordinator for incoming international students. So I support incoming international exchange and fee paying students. And I'll just let you Waylon say hello.
Hi everyone, my name is Waylon. I'm the international student representative here for today. I'm also an international student here studying at Birmingham.
Okay, everyone. Thank you, Waylon. What I will do now is I've got a couple of videos to show you, so hopefully they will work okay. Just one moment. Let's get those up. So first is a campus tour video, and then another is an international video that we put together. We also sent Rachel and Whitney our presentation with like a voiceover, but I think that'll be going on the UOB page. But I'll put the I'll show you these two videos are excellent, so I'll show you these now.
Hi, I'm Courtney, and I'm a student here at the University of Birmingham. Welcome to our campus. We're a Russell Group University found in the leafy suburbs of Edgbaston. As you'll see, we have a beautiful green campus with lots of open space and red brick buildings. We'll start our tour in Chancellor's Court. Here you'll find Old Joe, our clock tower, which was built in 1909. It's home to a pair of peregrine falcons and is the tallest freestanding clock tower in Europe. This is the Aston Webb building. It was one of the first buildings built here in 1900. It's built from Accrington red brick, which led to the term Red Brick University, of which Birmingham was the first. We were also the first campus university. Inside, there's a whispering gallery above reception in the Aston Webb, and 9 life-sized figures over the entrance doors representing great thinkers through the ages. They reflect subjects taught at the university and cultural heritage. This is the Great Hall. Students sit exams here. And this is also where graduation ceremonies are held. Just down the corridor is the Student Hub, which is home to a wide range of student support facilities, with experts to help if you need any support with funding, mental health and wellbeing, or disability services. The Bramwell Music Building opened in September 2012 and is an extension to the Aston Webb building. It houses a 450-seat music auditorium and is named after a major alumni donor. The Green Heart is a 12-acre parkland in the centre of campus.
Sorry, everyone, it's not it's not working very well there. Just give me one moment. I'm going to try and just put it onto the different browser. Just one moment. Always technical difficulties when you do these things.
Here, Hi, I'm Courtney, and I'm a student here at the University of Birmingham. Welcome to our campus. We're a Russell Group university found in the leafy suburbs of Edgbaston in Birmingham. As you'll see, we have a beautiful green campus with lots of open space and red brick buildings. We'll start our tour in Chancellor's Court. Here you'll find Old Joe, our clock tower, which was built in 1909. It's home to a pair of peregrine falcons and is the tallest freestanding clock tower in Europe. This is the Aston Webb building. It was one of the first buildings built here in 1900. It's built from Accrington red brick, which led to the term Red Brick University, of which Birmingham was the first. We were also the first campus university. Inside, there's a whispering gallery above reception in the Aston Webb, and 9 life-size figures over the entrance doors representing great thinkers through the ages. They reflect subjects taught at the university and cultural heritage. This is the Great Hall. Students sit exams here. And this is also where graduation.
Okay, sorry everyone. They're just I think I'm going to abandon that just because it's not coming through very well with the technical difficulties, and it just seems to be pausing too much. And I want to make sure that
no. So
yeah.
What I'll do, I will make sure that those videos, so all 3 of the ones that you had planned for today, I'll make sure that all 3 of those videos get posted to our Education Abroad Fair website so that students can access those and watch them as they please. That's okay.
That would be fantastic. Thank you, Rachel.
Awesome, of course. I apologize for that. Sometimes technology can be a little bit touchy.
No, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, I just want to make sure that that your students, that we'll give like a bit of an overview, and then just want to make sure that your students, they get enough time to ask their questions. Yeah, so I'll kick off with the overview. So we have 2 start periods for incoming students. So this being the fall semester, which is actually, it just started last week, was our welcome week. And then also we have the spring semester, which starts in January. It actually starts late January now. And we have like 2 cohorts, because we tend to find, especially from the States and from Canada, we tend to find that students come for 1 semester rather than a full year. So in September, we have on the international side, we have about I think it's usually about 250, 300 exchange students, and then in January would be about another 250. Yeah, about 200, 250, and so these from a number of different countries. We actually have I think about 35 partners now in the States. And students, they tend to come over and study for 1 semester, and also they tend to be across various subjects. Some students come and they do their major, and others will do more their elective subjects. So they're really spread across our colleges, And so to give you a bit of background about the colleges is that we have the 4 main colleges that the exchange students register with. A College of Arts and Law, so that will be containing our School of English and Drama and American Canadian Studies, our History Department, History and Cultures, and then you know, philosophy and archaeology and antiquity, those type of subjects. Then we have the Life and Environmental Sciences College, and so in there you'd have your psychology, sport and rehabilitation sciences, earth and environmental sciences, biosciences, and then the third is engineering and physical sciences. So your chemistry, your maths, your physics, and all the different you know, the different engineering areas, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, and then also the final college would be, let's rack my mind, the College of Social Sciences, and so that would contain business, economics, social policy, education. So there really is a lot of you know, we have a lot of schools. There's a lot of module options for exchange students. The only college that's not open to exchange students is the College of Medical and Dental Sciences, and that's just because the way that it's funded. So that unfortunately that is not open to exchange students. So when you, what will happen is you'll obviously do your process of applying to North Central, your internal application, and then when you're allocated to the University of Birmingham, you are nominated to us, and then we just check your nomination. And one of the most important parts of the nomination is actually the academic requirement. And so this, you would need a 2.8 GPA, at least a 2.8, and that's cumulative GPA. And then if you're coming for, if you did decide to come for a full year and you were an international student, so say for instance you were a Chinese national, then you would need to basically prove your English language proficiency. But if you're a US national and you're coming for a full year or one semester, you don't need to do that. There's no English language requirement. So it would just be the academic, the 2.8 GPA academic requirement. And when we've approved your nomination, we send you a link to our application, and basically we just need you to fill in. It's just like standard application. We get supporting documents, so your valid valid passport, a copy of your official transcript. It does need to be an official transcript, and then also the most important part is selecting your home school and also your preferred college. And this will be your preferred college is where 40 out of 60 credits of your modules, you say classes, but we call them modules at UOB, that they will need to be based within your preferred college. And then you can do 20 more credits of modules within up to 2 optional colleges. So there is a lot of, there's really a lot of variation of the subjects that you can study when you come to UOB. So that's just giving you a little bit, a little bit of background. Also, so talked a little bit in terms of just to say that the visa. So, for instance, if you come on, you come for one semester, you come on the short-term study visa, and that covers you for 6 months. But the only thing with that is that you can't work or volunteer on that visa. If you come for a full year, it used to be called the Tier 4, but it's just now called the student route. And then you just there are costs associated to the full year student route visa, and you would have to pay a small fee for the health surcharge, so you can access our National Health Service. And then you also have to pay an application fee. There's no charges associated with the short-term study visa. With the short-term study visa, if you're a US national, you can actually get it. You don't need to apply before you leave the US. You can actually get the stamp in your passport at the airport. So that's a bit about like the processes. When you're basically, we send you an offer which has your ID number. And that you used your ID number to apply for campus accommodation, and the campus accommodation is guaranteed for international exchange students. So we advise all international exchange to go with campus accommodation. And then we have a real campus accommodation. So one of the top end accommodation that we have is the Vale Village. So that's really nice. There's there's a lake in the middle of right in the middle of the accommodation, and there's different there's also a lot of different options within the Vale Village, but there's a number of different options for accommodation. But you apply using your ID number, and then I think the deadline for September is 31st of July, but there's no specific deadline for students that want to come in January. One of the differences is that for instance, if you're on the Vale Village, that's a little bit of a walk, probably like 10-15 minutes from campus. If you're in the accommodations that are more in the Selly Oak area, which is so our campus is within an area called Edgbaston, and then there's also another area right next door to campus called Selly Oak. And these both areas are very safe. We have 24/7 security on campus. But Selly Oak is where a lot of the full degree students who are in their second, third, or final year, they tend to live. So there's a lot of there's bars and restaurants and other shops to buy food in Selly Oak. And then also in the Vale Village tends to be, it is that, like I say, it's that little bit further walk. But it tends to be students that you have like a meal plan, and they're going to eat on. They're not going to go self-catering. They're going to go into catering accommodation and eat on within their accommodation. So that's a little bit about the accommodation. We're actually so we're very close. We're in a really like I say, a very safe and a very central location to the city centre, and also a central location. Birmingham is a central location within the UK, and we actually have we're the only university in England that has a train station right on campus called University. And so you can actually get the train from the campus, and it only takes 7 minutes to get into the city centre. You can also show your ID card, and you can get buses. So that's the other main form of public transport. And it's only like £1 to get you to the city centre. And then you go from our Birmingham New Street to literally anywhere within the UK. London is only about an hour, and I think it's an hour and 20 minutes away on average. You can go a little bit less than that, but that's usually like the commuter train for the people who work in London. But London is close. We're very centrally located, so if you wanted to go to places such as Cardiff or Edinburgh or some of the older type towns within the UK, somewhere like York, somewhere like that you may have heard of, very, very easy to get to from Birmingham New Street, so our main train station in the city centre. And then I mean, the Birmingham used to be very much part of like the industrial, but now it's much more commercial. And it's a very young city. I think it's all actually in the video that Rachel will put on our on your pages there. But it's a very young city, so I think it's about 40%. I think it was about 40% of the population are under. Actually, maybe about 60% actually. Sorry, that are under the age of 25. So it is a very young city, a very cosmopolitan city. A lot of different ethnic minorities within the city as well. So what I'll do actually is Waylon, if you can just give them maybe a little bit of your background and being a student in the city, and on what the campus is like, support services, things like that, and then just how you've found the city. That would be great.
I think that's a lot to cover, but I'll try. So I study sports science, and as you can probably tell from my background, I have a few posts, but I'm just currently in my uni accommodation, and it's quite close to the campus. It's a campus university as opposed to civic university, so most things will happen around you, and then where you stay as well, and all the societies, all the events will be around you too. Although currently the main events are happening on virtually as well, so such as this webinar, and most of the lectures and seminars are delivered online as well currently at UOB. but we don't know what's going to happen next year. That's going to depend on what the pandemic, how it turns out in the UK later in the year. But other than that, before COVID-19, really, I will be able to join a lot of different sports clubs, societies. We have a student union as well, which is a home to 300 societies. And you're most likely to find someone in something you're interested in, meet some other students as well. And as an exchange student point of view, it's probably that really values your stay in Birmingham. You'll meet different students, you'll meet international students, you'll meet local UK students, and the most common thing will probably happen in pubs as well when you meet other students, some social gatherings in pubs. That's something is quite a lot around student area, student area as well. I mean, just in general in the UK, pubs is the thing. And then I wonder what you want to know. I think that's more important. If any of you have any question or any topics you want to know about, please pop it in the chat box so I can talk more about it. Neil, do you think I have something I should cover as a student point of view?
I think that was I think that was great.
I have a question
Yeah.
for you.
No, I think that was really good. Sorry, Rachel, I was just going to say, because I think it's very important that what Waylon, what you touched on is that obviously with COVID, and just to make you aware that I don't think I touched on before is that so we're doing the university at the moment is doing bimodal teaching, so it's face-to-face and online, virtual learning. But also just to make you aware, so obviously the universities very much everything is in line with all our government guidance, and so basically this hand sanitizer across all in all of the buildings, all of the spaces. There's also everybody's socially distanced within the buildings where you can't you wear like a face mask if you can't obviously socially distance as well. They're actually giving a free reusable face mask, so that's obviously better for the environment as well, to all the new students. But yeah, just to let everybody know, I mean, we have had some sort of local restrictions that happened, which means that students can only mix at the moment with the people within their household. And also there's what they call the rule of 6. So if you go out, you can only have 6 people in your group. So basically the people that you would be in a flat with. What we tend to do, what you tend to have is a lot of the flats. So you would mix in the sort of kitchen area and there'd be like a living room space. And then you would have your own room. A lot of the rooms are en suite as well. But you would mix in the in the living areas with the people in your with the people in your flat. So but yeah, I just wanted to give you a bit of a background anyway to know that obviously that we're following all the universities following all the government guidance, and so it's very safe. It is very, very safe on campus. But yeah, Rachel, do we have any questions?
We do. We have one at the moment. A student is wondering what your fall semester dates are. So when or how long does your fall semester run, and when are those dates from start to finish in the fall semester?
Yeah, sure. So what happened previously was that we used to have modules that used to run. They used to run full terms. We used to have modules that run through the whole year, but now this is the first year with our semester, our academic calendar has become semesterized. So the first semester, so the welcome week is usually around about the 21st of September, and classes have just started this week on the 28th. It's actually quite a short semester in comparison to the spring semester. So the same number of teaching weeks, but it just works out that it's a little bit shorter. But the end of the semester would be the 18th of December. the actual for home students, full degree students, they actually have an assessment period that happens in January. But for exchange students, what we do is that we organise alternative assignments for the full semester only students. And so you would complete, what you usually find is that you can either basically submit your work, your assignments before you leave, you know, in mid-December, or you can obviously go with the same deadline that the students, the home students, full degree students have. But yeah, like I said, it's a shorter, it's a 3-month semester, so 12 weeks including the welcome week. And then in January, that's actually slightly longer. So it starts, the welcome week is the 25th of January next year. The classes start on the 1st of February, and then it finishes the 25th of June. But there is a 3-week Easter break to be aware of. So some exchange students tend to do a bit of travelling during that break, and then we'll combine it with obviously revision, because the assessment period it would be for the spring would be in June. So yeah, so hopefully that covers that. Do we have any more questions?
We do. We have another question. It says, are psychology or neuroscience courses taught for exchange or study abroad students? So are those courses open to exchange students coming in?
Yes, they are definitely. Yes, psychology and neuroscience, yeah, they are open to exchange students. So we tend to, I would say psychology is, it's not one of the most popular schools with our students, incoming exchange students. We tend to find that the really in demand is, say, something like English and history. There's a lot of demand there, so sometimes it can be hard to get onto some modules of those subjects. But psychology tends to have a smaller group of exchange students, but it's definitely it's definitely available, and that's you know, that's a really good school at the University of Birmingham. So yeah, no, they're definitely available. Yeah. Is there any more questions?
Let's see. I'll give it another minute for students to ask questions, but I have a question for you. So say I am an exchange student studying abroad at the University of Birmingham, and I'm there for the semester. What can't I miss? What do I have to see while I am living in Birmingham?
Yeah. What do you, Wayland, did you want to start with that one? Being you know, having been a student in the city.
I think most students will go to London first. So if you haven't seen London before you left the UK, that would be a shame, I think. But in Birmingham,
how far away is London?
Oh, so like Neil just mentioned, so it's about 1.5 hours by train. Yeah, it's relatively easy to get to London from Birmingham.
Awesome. And so what else?
Yeah.
Is there anything in Birmingham that I have to see that I can do or I can't miss while I'm there?
Yeah, I mean you may have heard of there's like I say, in the past the city was like a more of an industrial city, but now it's more it's been massively, it has changed a lot. It's more of a commercial, like, you know, service sort of city. And one of the changes that actually happened was, you probably heard of Cadbury's. So I don't know if you've tried Cadbury's chocolate. But one of the people, his name was, he started the Cadbury's chocolate factory, George Cadbury. So one of the things that he did was basically where, and actually, because there's a place in the city centre, it's called the back-to-back houses, and that's really interesting to see, especially if you're a history student, because what you'll see there is how that people lived during like the industrial, when, you know, in the industrial, when the city was very much an industrial city. And then George Cadbury created what had been Bourneville. So he created like this village, like the Bourneville Village Trust. And it's totally like very green. It's totally like, it's a massive change for the people that worked at the factory. It was a big change for them, you know, just having their own sort of gardens, not living on top of each other. So that's quite interesting. But yeah, I mean, that's the one. It's actually my favourite like smell of a factory anyway. Whenever I yeah, it smells very nice. But yeah, so Bourneville's really nice to visit. We have you know, there's a lot of nice areas. There's an area in the city called the Jewelry Quarter. So that was, you know, a lot of the name says there's a lot of jewelry that was made there. We've got a really old, the assay office is like a place where they, you know, do all the measurements of jewelry. So, and then another thing is whistles. Whistles is making whistles is a big thing for the city. But there's a lot of like different museums that are really good to see. You can also, I'm thinking as well, there's a lot of Black Country Living Museum, so that's definitely worth seeing. That gives you again history of the city and, you know, of the West Midlands. So that's definitely worth seeing as well. There's places on you know, there's close to, we have a very nice botanical gardens which is in Edgbaston, so it's close to campus. Winterbourne Gardens is actually on campus. That's sort of similar, but that's just a little bit smaller. That's very nice. We also have like pre-Raphaelite like art in our Barber Institute, which students can visit. I mean, a lot of these things as well, you know, if they're students, they can visit for free as well. And then also it just you know, making sure that they use their ID card and making sure that they get, you know, go to see these things at like student prices. I mean, one of the things that I always, you know, say is when I visit, like if I visit the States, somewhere in the States or anywhere else in the world, is that you want to immerse yourself in the culture. And so one of the big things that I always say is like food is a big part of that, trying food wherever you visit. And so if you're in Birmingham, you need to, you know, you need to eat, try fish and chips. You need to have on a Sunday, you've got to have like your Sunday roast dinner. You need to have like your full English breakfast. One of the things is like pudding, like black pudding or white pudding, which is made of, doesn't sound too good, but it tastes nice, and it's made of pig's blood, and that's black pudding. Well, actually, I think they're white pudding as well. But then also just a bit more. But yeah, one of the other things as well that's really good, that's interesting, is that in Birmingham they invented a curry, so like an Indian curry, and it's called the balti. So it's like made and served in like a metal dish, and that's like delicious. And you get like poppadoms, which are like crisps, and like salad, and like onions with it, like onion salad and naan bread. So that's really nice. So definitely nice food to try.
Yes, I would say apart from the places to visit, which Neil just mentioned, there are quite a lot of places in Birmingham, but also to meet a Brummy, a person who lives in Birmingham, like Neil, and their specific accent as well. It's always interesting to chat about as well, and probably pick up some accents from Birmingham as well, if that's something I know you'd be interested. But definitely meet local people too when you're in Birmingham.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
always, so that's such good advice, is always to try to make friends with the locals, whether it's in Birmingham or any of our other education abroad programs. Meet as many locals as you can. That's definitely such good advice for sure.
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing. That's what we'd say is, you know, it's students will meet obviously other exchange students, you know, through there's a student exchange society, they can get a global buddy, but that's what we say as well. It's really important that they join different societies and different lots, yeah, sports as well, or just on campus. So, but yeah, just to go out really and just experience the city. It's a very, you know, it's a very nice city, a very safe city. Yeah, and just to meet those locals. But yeah, I was wondering actually whether any of your students would have you know, a bit of difficulty with my accent. But yeah, I've always lived in Birmingham, so but I mean, you sort of something like I want to be in a relationship, I want to be together. That's sort of like something they might say, and a lot of the people might say in an accent. But one of the things that that men basically say is like one of the words they use is mate. That's one of the, and then women say bab. So they might call your students bab if they're you know, walking around the city. So but yeah, like a lot of different local accents to obviously experience as well within within Birmingham and the UK. So, do we have any more questions?
I do have one more question that popped up. A student asked, how big is the whole campus? For example, how far would it, or how long would it take to walk from one end to the other of campus?
Well, Waylon, I'll let you, you have that one.
Okay, so the main campus area, you can walk around the whole campus just within, I would say 15 minutes. That's not, maybe I walk faster, maybe 20 to walk the whole campus. But there's different campus area which located a bit further as well, like the drama studio, on which you probably need to take a bus. And then there's a few other areas in the city center, which again you might need to take a bus to. But normally the main things will happen on the main campus, which you will easily walk around to. And the accommodation area, the Vale mentioned by the one with the lake inside in the middle. That one, it's about 15 minutes walk from the main campus, so it's not too far at all if you go around the campus.
Yeah, we have this a running club that they tend to do like circuits of campus. So I think, well, Waylon's a bit fitter than me, so yeah, it'd probably take me a bit, probably take me a little bit longer to walk across campus. But no, it's a beautiful campus, and it's incredibly hard to get lost on campus, because all you need to look for is Joseph Chamberlain, or we call it Old Joe, which is the clock tower right in the centre of Chancellor's Court. And so you've got all like the really nice, you know, all the red brick buildings there right in the centre, and that's where, you know, the students come out after they've graduated in the Great Hall. So they well, actually before they graduate, they don't go underneath the clock tower, because they're sort of like it's supposed to be bad luck that you won't graduate if you go underneath the clock tower when the bells chiming. But yeah, so they go round, but then on the day they graduate, they walk underneath. So, but yeah, it is a very, very nice campus, and there's been a lot of investment in the campus. So 175 million, like in the building different buildings. So, and they've opened up the centre of the campus. It's called the Green Heart. So they took out the old library and they built a new modern library slightly to the side of it, actually. And then so there's a really big like green space. So when we get nice weather, when we do get nice weather, it's wonderful to sit outside. But yeah, so no, a very nice campus to walk around, and not too far to walk.
It sounds so lovely. I have one more question here that just came in. A student wants to know, does the university offer any meal plans?
I'll let you, Waylon, I'll let you you take that one, John.
Okay. So when you apply for accommodation, you can also apply for a meal plan. And the meal plan, you can access any meal on campus. So there are local, there are Subways, there are different brands as well, all on campus. You can use your meal plan, anything on campus. And also there's you can also use your meal plan in your accommodation. There will be a dedicated canteen in your accommodation. You can use your meal plan on, but basically you can choose whether you want a meal plan or not.
Thank you, Waylon.
Yes, thank you for that.
Oh, you can also use the meal plan on your coffee, on your Starbucks, on Costa on campus. But yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, well, it doesn't look like I have any more questions. So maybe I'll give it another minute or so just to see if any last minute questions roll in. But I just wanted to say thank you both so much for being here today and for taking time to talk to our students and answer questions. And I apologize again for the technical difficulty with the videos, but I will make sure that those videos get posted to our Education Abroad Fair site so that students can access those at a later time and view them as they please. So I'll make sure those get up there. And other than that, it doesn't look like I have any other questions now, so we can end it here. And so I just wanted to say thank you again. We appreciate you and all of your efforts, as well as your partnership and everything you do for our North Central students and help them.
Yeah.
Study abroad.
No, Yeah, no, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to speak to your students today. So it's yeah, it's great to you know, to be able to answer your students' questions. Yeah, and just hope you know, sooner rather than later that we'll
Yeah.
you know, I'll be able to speak to see your students physically on campus, and yeah, it's just let's hope.
Yes. Fingers crossed.
That's it.
Okay, well, enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your evening, and thank you again for being here.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Take care. Bye bye. Bye.